And I think that the general public doesn't have that awareness. Our lawmakers don't have that awareness. The example I always use in trying to kind of get across the notion of how dangerous data and algorithms are for our lives in the US, and I think these equivalents of this exist in most countries. When you look at renting an apartment, right? That I live in Los Angeles, I rent an apartment. You live in Vegas, I don't know if you rent or own or whatever, but most of the big rental property companies are all using the same software that has the data of so many Americans and all the specifics of that particular region, so that they can price their rent at exactly the right dollar amount every month to optimize how much they can take from you.
Wow.
Which is just like, how is a person, how can you expect to save money or get ahead in the world when the basic things like housing are being controlled by algorithms owned by companies that are just there to suck every last dollar out of you.
Right.
And I don't think, like, the typical renter, I don't think they're aware that that's why rent is set at X amount of dollars per month. I don't think that, if lawmakers were fully aware of this, first of all, I would like to think that they would ban that. But also they could, create rent control policies, things like that. But to me, that just shows like the applying the reality of data collection and algorithms to rental prices, to me, just shows like a really bleak present and future for life.
Yeah, I agree, because I try when I just came to Vegas, like say I try to do some research. Like you, I'm a data person. I try to go around the city, do a lot of asking, but they all have the same price. I'm like, where's the competition? Like no one, they all have the same price. If you want like it, I don't know, 2 bedroom or 3 bedroom, whatever, you're not gonna find many differences, maybe $50 here, $100 here, but not that much.
No, that's exactly it. And I think the assumption by everyone is, well, that's just the way the market is. Well, it's because they're using all this information that they have on all of us, and they know exactly how much we make and how much we pay in taxes and what our credit rating is. And it's wild, and it's disturbing. Yeah. Not to mention, obviously, then on top of that, there's the any of the surveillance tech, and we've had stories of as I'm sure you've followed closely, of police or the algorithms that do facial identity and that have identified the wrong people as potential criminals, and those deeply discriminate against Black men more than anyone else, right? Which is a huge not just like offense to civil liberties, but also to like the physical safety of individuals in this country. And I'm horrified continually by like media stories, or just the way people casually talk about these things, as if, oh, like, it's great, we're building AI into our surveillance. Like, you should not say that calmly in a sentence if you really understand the implications of that. And again, that gets at like the lack of education and awareness about the power and dangers of data collection, and then building those into algorithms that.
And even with the Google program, what I like about it, one of the things I like about it is they spend a lot of time talking about data bias, data ethics. Because most people who are not scientists, they just think, oh, the data, that's the data, like fact is data, but data can be biased, data can be, screwed. And
that's right. I forgot that they do build that in, which is important, especially for people who are maybe starting out. And although Google is also, I don't know if you followed it, but Google is the company that fired one of the most well-known AI ethics experts, Timnit Gebru, a few years ago. One of the first people to, very loudly speak out about the danger of large language models, which is what powers ChatGPT and all that. And they fired her and some of their other specialists. I think like all of the big tech companies who are obviously now and will continue to profit from this, we have to make sure that it's like, I don't know who's going to be sounding the alarm bells. Ideally, independent experts, universities, and our lawmakers. But right now, I'm deeply cynical about the future of all this. I don't know if you were going to expect that perspective from me, but I'm.
Oh, this is a great segue. Yeah, it's a great segue now to AI, because I wanted to ask you about it. Now, we talked about data analytics, machine learning, data science. Now we have all these tools, ChatGPT, Google Board. So what are some of the benefits and maybe some of the risks? You already talked about it right now, but maybe.
Yeah. So obviously ChatGPT was launched in the fall of last year, and there've been a few iterations of it since then. I haven't played around with it too much. And I know it's fun, and there's obviously all these companies that are like building it into their tools and creating their own startups based on it and everything. But again, to me, it's terrifying because most of what's initially being built is based on ChatGPT, which comes from OpenAI, the company, right?
Right.
They haven't been transparent about what data they're using and how they're using it.
Right.
So it's super fun for any of us to hop on like ChatGPT, Bard AI. I played around a little bit with both of them, but I haven't played around much because I'm not going to do it until I have time to like sit down and do some proper research. And we don't know enough about how anything we're entering in there is being used. Most of the people who are playing around with these or even building things already and using ChatGPT, that's the product owned by OpenAI. They have not been transparent about the data that they're using to power the large language model that powers ChatGPT. And that is deeply problematic to me. It's, again, I know I sound bleak and cynical, but I am. Like, we need to temper our enthusiasm for these technologies until we all have a basic understanding of how they work, the data behind them. And then great, let's build a world built on AI. Let's use it if it can, practically. The people I know who use it already daily in their work are, people who are coding, who use it to do parts of the coding. It's not replacing their jobs in any way, but it gets them through some of the more tedious steps. Right. People who obviously do a lot of writing, content marketers, some graphic artists. I'm dying to go in there and play around with some of the artistic side of things, but I'm not going to do it until I know more, because I'm not going to put, say photos of myself or photos of my daughter or my dog and, enter them there and do some fun art with it when we don't know who's going to use that, what permissions I'm signing over for people to use my photos or, again, any other data. Right. I know I'm rambling a bit here, but I don't agree with what was issued a few weeks ago by Elon Musk and a bunch of other people saying, like, let's just put a hold on this development for 6 months, because that's not how life works. That's not how technology works. And people who signed that, most of them, I'd say Elon Musk and many of the others, have their own interests at heart. And they're also some of the people who are extremely dodgy at best, ethically.
He's also behind ChatGPT, right?
Yes, he's one of the investors in it, of course. Right. And now he's, of course, launching his own thing as well. But so we certainly not like, let's halt everything. That can't happen. But I don't know, we need to launch some sort of public education around this, whether that's sort of explainers on how it works. and what the dangers are, and really get that information out there to people of all ages before things move ahead too fast.
Yeah.
Again, I'm someone who works in data, who understands the basics of how this works, and loves staying up to date on this type of technology. And it's moving so fast that I am in no way up to date on it at all.
Yeah.
So how, if someone like me can keep up with it, how can we expect the general public to? So I don't know, maybe we should launch some sort of educational snippets to get out there or something. I haven't thought that through too much, but whatever it did.
Idea. That's a good AI education.
Yeah, it needs to happen quickly.
That can be another LinkedIn group for AI.
Yes, yes.